Hi, we are Team 3 and this is our presentation about the Egyptian culture for our last project, the Pia.
Among its most common questions, we can find that they use warning to match reasons, geometry to calculate universe in digits and measure surface, algebra to correctly distribute the flows, astronomy to predict the flood of the river and which it the calendar to arrange them and organize the world. As we can see, they were very organized. Among the custom in Egypt, they include skinning hands we greet and doing it before an interlocutor because they consider it gesture of respect.
Traditions. There are various celebrations and festivals in Egypt, some similar to ours but with different dates and actions. An example of this coincidence is that Christmas in Egypt is celebrated on January 7, rather than December 25th, with great enthusiasm and festivity. The meaning of this tradition is to spread love and peace throughout the world. The people of Egypt during this period do not eat meat, poultry, or dairy products. A Christmas tradition in Egypt is to visit the church and wear the new clothes. A special Christmas meal is made, known as fata, which is made up of bread, rice, boiled meat, and garlic. As an ancient Egyptian tradition, it should be noted that the Egyptians were the first to install marriage with laws. Many weddings in Egypt are still organized, but this tradition is beginning to change, especially in metropolitan areas.
Most famous places. In this part, we will be doing a list of the most beautiful places to visit from this culture. The Pyramids of Giza, the only one of the seven wonders of the ancient world that is preserved. It is one of the most impressive places to visit in Egypt and also in the world. In second place we have Abu Simbel. In Nubia, to the south of Egypt, there is a place that overshadows the Egyptian pyramids in beauty. This archaeological zone stands out for the two rock-cut temples that the great pharaoh Ramses II ordered to be built in the 13th century to commemorate a war victory. These two incredible temples honor the pharaoh and his favorite wife, Nefertari. In third place we have the Temple of Luxor, built in honor of the god Amun by the pharaohs Amenhotep III and Ramses II. The Temple of Luxor is located 2 kilometers from the Temple of Karnak. This more than 3,500-year-old temple is one of the best preserved in Egypt and stands out for its large facade. In the history of this ancient culture, we can say that the Egyptian culture or ancient Egyptian culture developed in the valley formed by the Nile River located in the extreme northeast of Africa. The Nile River runs through the territory from south to north, making agriculture, livestock, and navigation prosper. Egyptian culture has existed for more than 600 years, undergoing numerous changes that occurred due to contact with invading people, such as the Arabs, the Romans, and the Greeks. Both ancient Egypt and ancient cultures of Mesopotamia were the first societies to create, sustain, and develop a writing system, both around the year 3000 before Christ. They were nomads and moved through the Nile River valley. These people, in approximately 4000 before Christ, were grouped into two distinct religions, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. The population was unified under Pharaoh Menes in 3100 before Christ.
After successive empires, the territory was dominated by the Persians (1341) and later by the Greeks and Romans. From the fourth century of our era, it was part of the Eastern Roman Empire, and later the Byzantine Empire. In the seventh century, the territory is invaded by the Arabs, who introduced their culture, language, and Islamic religion. Until the sixteenth century, when Egypt was dominated by the Ottoman Empire. However, the Abad culture continued to be the most important for the population.
In the 18th century, Egypt was invaded by Napoleon's French forces, and after a series of civil wars in 1805, Egypt's independence was declared. In the 20th century, the country was dominated by a series of dictionaries. The ship, The Last Beast, What of Osni movie, on set in 2011, but replies by corrupt governments. After the 2015 coup in Egypt's Democratic Republic, now a parliamentary.
The gastronomy. The diet in ancient Egypt was conservative, conditionally by the geographical environment and with a slow evolution marked by the discovery on technologies and the importation of new foods. The climate have an important influence. In the prehistoric period, the current desert arid silt and vegetation and allowed grazing. The gradual desertification gave greater importance of the Nile Valley and agriculture, which was reflected in the daily and menu. The Egyptian diet was complete with fish and meat, gener- generally sheep, pork, domestic poultry, and beef for great occasions.
Meat and fish were generally roasted or dried and sold. The most appreciated fish was smollett, a sea fish that goes up the Nile, and with the eggs they made the botarga, a recipe that is used throughout the Mediterranean. Even today, the fish, although it was consumed, they did not eat in a habitual way since they considered in a reincarnation of the god of the underworld, Set.